Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I apologize. I've been reluctant to get back to sports time or sports hour. Still trying to figure out a lot of stuff, including a name. I do apologize, though. I should be more. I should have did this more or less Monday, but I just been busy with extracurricular activities. I just apologize for the time being. Anyway, let's get into just a little bit of UFC, a little bit of Women's Champions League, the Champions League, which is happening next week. Maybe get just brief up on the Elimination Chamber, which is happening this month. A little bit of NBA, a little bit of NHL. We'll do a little bit of that. So, without further ado, let's get into Let's start off with the Professional Women's Hockey League. There's been it looks like it's pretty close in points. You know, some people have played 9 games. Some Ottawa's only played 7, or it looks like Ottawa and Boston has only played 7. It looks like they're gonna have there's 15 to 17 more games left. So I think to say about playoffs, I think that's just overrated right now. I like Ottawa. I think they have a great goaltender situation. Right now, Montreal, Minnesota are taking it by storm. So we'll see what happens. It's Marie-Philippe Poulin. Not surprising, honestly, that the Montreal's number 1. Let's go. Let's go, ladies. It's looking good. I enjoy keeping up. I just haven't brushed up on where the standings are and how that works. So I'm kind of just learning. I wanted to get everything in today. UFC Fight Night, Hermanison versus Pfeiffer. That will be happening, if I'm correct, Saturday, prior to the Super Bowl. I just saw Dana White on the Pat McAfee show. He was just talking about it. CONCACAF Champions League. I think that's happening right now. FC Monterrey beat their North American rivals, Communicones. I keep forgetting which nation, which league that's from. But FC Monterrey beat them 4-1. Real Estate beat the Liga MX champions Club America 2-1. But honestly, there's still a second leg, which is happening next week. FC Ford versus Guadalajara today, and Vancouver Whitecaps FC will versus Tigres Unal. So we'll see what happens with that. Canadian, one MLS and one Canadian Premier League, versus the formidable, legendary Liga Mexico. So that's going to be fun. Women's Champions League, March 9th. Let's just get that out of the way here quick. The knockout stages are at foot. We got Ajax versus Chelsea, Benfica versus Lyon. Of course, Lyon being the 8-time champions, won how many years in a row? They haven't won in a couple of years because, of course, Barcelona are the winners. They're looking to be back-to-back. They versus SK Braun, and of course, my girls from PSG will take on the Swedish BK Häcken. Benfica, the Portuguese, and Chelsea are going up against Ajax, from the Netherlands. A lot of these teams, they got a lot going on. It's been. I can't wait for March 9th for the Women's Champions League to get a foot. Right now, just because I don't want to just cut off the CONCACAF Champions League. They just started, so we'll get into more of that later on. So I apologize for the quick turnaround on that. All right, let's talk about. Let's get with some Well, let's talk about a WWE Elimination Chamber. It's going to be in Perth, Australia. I'm looking forward to it. Right now there isn't much of a slate set up, but I'm pretty sure before the end of the week or even by next week we'll know all the matchups and all the match card here soon. So more on that. I'll make sure I get to you guys. NBA right now. Let's take a look at the Celtics and the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Knicks, the 76ers, the Pacers own the top six there, and of course that's for the East. Of course, Heat, the Magic, the Bulls, and the Hawks are all in there, fighting for the play-in, and the Nets and Raptors are the ones looking out. Raptors being the most far back, and of course the only other teams are the worst teams like the Pistons and stuff. And I'm not gonna save the time and talk about, oh well, they're just having a bad season. Look, if I talk about the bad teams, it's just gonna make like I'm talking shit. So I'm not gonna do that. I know that's why you'll never hear me talk about really the bad teams unless there's something extraordinarily bad happening with that team. Now, without further ado, honestly, I thought the Raptors were going to do better. My Raptors were going to do better, but it is what it is. We're in a transition. We're having a very up and down season, very down season more than up. But there's some good stuff. Scotty Barnes, All-Star, let's go. But Pacers doing good, 76ers doing good, Knicks, a lot of those teams, Celtics are always going to be good. Cavs are looking surprising, so don't be surprised if any of those teams make some upset. Bulls, struggling to stay over still under 500 as well as the Hawks, but we'll see what happens in the near future. Now we go to the West. Clippers holding the second best record in the NBA right now, with of course the Celtics holding the first. Then it goes Clippers, Thunder, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Sacramento Kings, Suns, and of course the clubs playing for the play-in: Pelicans, Mavericks, Lakers, and Jazz. But the Warriors and Rockets on the outside. Rockets almost as good as the Warriors, which talks about how hard it's been for the legendary dynasty that we have going there. Who knows if it's at the end? Maybe there's still lots of games left, so we'll see where the Warriors end up in the end. We'll see where the Jazz, because they're still 26-26 with their young owner pushing for an NHL franchise, which we'll probably get it. We'll talk more about NHL franchises here. Of course, Arizona Coyotes, there's apparently a statement saying their future's up in the air. I won't talk about that until something is set in stone, because I'm not here for gossip. I apologize if that's what you're looking for, because I'm not. But right now, Rockets, who knows? Maybe if they go on a streak, maybe they do something. Who knows? But Clippers looking good. Thunder looking devastatingly good. Timberwolves still looking good. Nuggets always good. Kings holding on to good. And the Suns still good. And so that's a hard one to go up against. Pelicans looking strong. We'll see what happens here down the stretch for the second half of the season. For the NHL, coming after the All-Star break, we're looking at the 6 teams that in the East: Boston, Florida, Tampa. Then it goes for the Metro is Rangers, Carolina, Philadelphia, with Detroit, Islanders, and Pittsburgh holding on to the fighting for that wild card spot. So Pittsburgh on the outside looking in right now. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the season it's been. But I, of course, being being a person that's watched them win 3 Stanley Cups in how many years, in the 13, 14, 15 years that they've been around, 16 years, 17 years, however many years we've been fighting for that Stanley Cup spot, to get in, and now it's year after year, it's first round knockouts. But it's been hard. A lot of teams you look at the teams that have won since St. Louis, since Washington. You have Washington, St. Louis, Tampa twice. You've had Vegas. You've had Colorado. You know, like it's you just can't be mad at the way the NHL is turning out. It's everyone's taken from that model. Everybody wants to be the new Tampa, the new Pittsburgh, the new Chicago, the new Kings. They want to have back to back. They want to have multiple. And Colorado and Vegas, and Vegas have won. They took 6 years to win, and they've been to 2 Stanley Cup Finals with 1 victory in 6 years. So, records being broken or shattering, and it's monumental what's going on. Right now in the West, Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, and in the Pacific, or that's the Central, the Pacific, Vancouver, Vegas, and Edmonton, with LA, St. Louis holding on to those final wildcard spots. Nashville tied with St. Louis, but then Seattle, just 2 points back. That wildcard situation is the same. Seattle has been looking good. Yeah, they haven't had the same success, but they're bound for success. And if the Coyotes get relocated to Quebec, and if Chicago goes back to the West, and if all that conspiracy blah 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 comes into place, and we get 36 teams, so we get Utah, and we get I'm just gonna throw out names, or Salt Lake City, or we get another Cincinnati was a team that the NHL is talking about. So if we get all those other places, Cleveland, get a Cincinnati team, we get a Green Bay team, or we get a second Buffalo team, whatever it may be. There's Kansas City, right? We get all those type of teams coming in. I'm all for it, but until it does happen, I'm just going to talk about what we have here, the product, a good product. It's going to be, and I could just see the same success happening. That's all I'm going to leave. It's been successful. Bettman knows what he is. You can hate him, love him, despise him, call him whatever you want, but he's doing a great job with what we have right now. And financially they're stable, so you can't really be mad at that. There's no talks about bankruptcy. So anyway, so without further ado, let's talk about the Champions League. Right now, let's just brief up on the 5 major soccer leagues. Liverpool leading, of course, the Champions League. Unfortunately, teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, and Brighton are on the outside looking in. West Ham, Man United, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Arsenal, and Man City, of course, all behind. Liverpool, and it's kind of funny how that works out, because Brighton 1 year good, but right now there's still games to be played. We'll see where everybody ends up. Maybe it'll be the same as last year, because maybe Tottenham will knock out Aston Villa, or Brighton, or whatever. Maybe Brighton goes on a wicked, maybe Newcastle goes on a losing streak. But no talks about relegation yet, because there's still games to be played. For La Liga, Real Madrid just overlapped Girona, then Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Bilbao, Real Sociedad, and Valencia holding on to the top spots, with Real Betis just tied with Valencia. Unfortunately, Villarreal and Sevilla are 14th and 15th, coming in with 24 and 20 points. Not very good. That's actually pretty bad, because usually they do a lot better. Let's just put it that way. For Serie A, it's pretty straightforward. The teams. Inter Milan, Juventus, then it goes up 4 points on Juventus, AC, then Atalanta, Roma, Bologna, and Napoli, with Florentia and Lazio tied for 34 points. Right under Napoli, the current Italian Serie A winners. So we'll see where that goes. Honestly, it's looking good. Inter Milan and being the Champions League runners-up. League on though. Let's PSG, then Nice, Brest, Lille, and AS Monaco, with RC Lens in the 6th spot, Marseille in 8th, Rennes in 9th, and Toulouse in 12th. So a lot of those guys that you're seeing that's in the Europa and Europa Conference, yeah, they're not doing as good as. There's only a few. Marseille being 8th, that's not going to last. But who they knock out, that's going to be the disappointment. And if they don't make, being Paris Saint-Germain fan, if Marseille aren't in Europa competition next year, I will be shocked. And that's just being honest, because they're like, you're supposed to be happy for that. Well, it is still surprising. I could be happy and surprised. And shocked, actually. But for Bundesliga, right now, Union Berlin is 15th, so they will probably. So I'm just going to make a judgment on how many games are left. I don't think we'll see Union Berlin back in Europa competition. So if it is the way it is, it's good to. It was awesome to see a Union Berlin. It sucks that you're not having a good Bundesliga campaign, but I know you guys are going to turn around and you'll be back in there. Can't wait to see you back. Anyway, Bayer Leverkusen holding on to the top spot over Bayern Munich, Stuttgart, Dortmund, Leipzig, Frankfurt, Freiburg, with Hoffenheim right behind them. Hoffenheim, you were really bad last year. So to see them where they are, awesome to see. Let's get it going. Let's see you guys. Let's see Hoffenheim. Yeah, I like that. It's awesome. But that's what's happening in the other competition. Let's look at the slate that we have. So this. So for the first legs, we got Copenhagen versus Man City, or will be hosting Man City. Red Bull Leipzig will be hosting Real Madrid. Lazio will be hosting Bayern Munich. Paris Saint-Germain will be hosting Real Sociedad, which I really hope, but Real Sociedad. They're still part of La Liga. They were number 3 last year. Just because they aren't officially where they were last year doesn't mean we should take them lightly. I assume it's gonna be a knockdown fight. Usually is when you're a PSG fan. I've only heard about the talks about Kylian Mbappe. I haven't seen anything officially, so I will not comment on if there is a move to Real Madrid. But if it does happen, probably not surprising. Seeing many stars make the jump to the Spanish Super League. So, and of course to the one that holds the crown. Not surprised. It doesn't surprise me because they've been chasing them for a while. But I'm not going to comment. That's all I'm really going to say. Inter Milan will take on Atletico Madrid. We'll be hosting Atletico Madrid. PSV Eindhoven will be hosting Borussia Dortmund. FC Porto will be hosting Arsenal. And Napoli will be hosting Barcelona. So, that's how the first leg's going to go. We'll see what happens. I think it's 13th to 14th? 13th to 14th. We'll see what... 13th and 14th. And then, of course, we'll see what happens the next legs. We'll make our predictions then. But until then, right now, that's just going to be great matchups, great pairings. I don't see anything but spectacular gameplay to be taking place. Let's take a look at the play-ins for Europa. We got Galatasaray versus Sparta Prague, which Sparta, I think, won their they won, or they were second place. Sorry, Shakhtar Donetsk versus Marseille, Young Boys versus Sporting CP, Feyenoord Rotterdam versus AS Roma, the 2021 Europa Conference League final, of course. Lens versus Freiburg, AC Milan versus Rennes, Braga versus Quebec, Benfica versus Toulouse. And yeah, that's the first leg. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Of course, those are the the Champions League third places will be versus the second places of the Europa League. I don't know. Toulouse against Benfica, both both are in the minuses. Benfica could go on a run. Toulouse could go on a run there in one of their games. So I'm not going to make any predictions because it's just too hard for that at the moment. I'll take, but I would if I was to take a team, I'd probably take Roma out of all of these teams. They're probably the most, maybe even Milan too, AC Milan. But that's just personal. Okay, let's talk about the Europa Conference League play-ins. Of course, it will be the third place of the Europa League versus the second place of Europa Conference League. So Mold FK will be taking on Lega Warsaw. Olympiacos will be taking on Ferencváros. The Hungarians, Sturm Graz. The Austrians will be taking on Slovan Bratislava. Royal Union St. Gilloise will be taking on Frankfurt. Real Betis will be taking on the Croatians, Dynamo Zagreb. Maccabi Haifa, the Israelis, will be taking on Gent, the Belgians. Ajax will be taking on Bodo Glimt. Servet will be taking on Ludogorets, the Bulgarian. And so we'll see where all those end up before we start making any predictions, because predictions are like opinions. You pick and choose the ones that you truly like and are truly worth it. Unfortunately, this is all the time that I kind of got. But again, if I was to, it would be most or less the favorites. I always want my PSG to win. If I had a choice, I think Man City can go back to back. Because they have the really, really well built team. Like, let's put it that way. They have the best team right now. I've really enjoyed Arsenal's performance, but their pairing will depend on who they get paired with. Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid might actually be my most favorite matchup too. If I was to talk about Champions League, if I was to Roma versus Feyenoord versus Roma, that's my favorite in that one. And if I was to choose one for Europa Conference, right now for the play-ins, I'm gonna have to choose the Greek Olympiacos versus Ferencváros. Ferencváros is undefeated, but Olympiacos, they're fighting for a spot because Europa Conference League final will be in Athens. So I find that I guess that would be the most interesting for the plans. But so I'll leave you with that. That's just my personal. If I was to choose winners, because my favorite teams, West Ham for Europa, and I'm gonna just go on a limb and say Lyle for Europa Conference League. So there you go. I gave you guys just personal honest my personal favorites for those. Do I think any of them will win? We have to wait to see because the game's got to be played. Till then, much love. Shakalaka. Thank you guys very much. Love you guys.